back on the Morning Brew with friends with our friend Eileen O'Connell, the head librarian for the Special Collections Library. It's great to have you here this morning.
Glad to be here.
I love libraries. When I was in college, I actually worked in one at New Mexico Tech.
Oh, okay.
And the Special Collections section was always the coolest part of it, you know, because it was the biggest books and the craziest books and the things that you really had to do a deep dive to learn what they were. How did you get into Special Collections?
I kind of lucked into it. I grew up in Albuquerque, and I have worked for Albuquerque Public Library. This is 10 years now, but it was my first job was as a page at the San Pedro Library.
Oh, cool.
And so I was managing San Pedro, and the manager for Special Collections retired, and they were sort of, well, we're going to need to fill that. And I had, in an inspired moment, once said that I would be interested, and somebody remembered that and said, would you still be interested? I was like, yes, I would love to.
Because Special Collections, for those that don't really realize it, they're really the interesting books. They're the historical books. They're the books that are outsiders that don't fit on normal shelves. They're the books that are rare, sometimes signed by authors, that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
What are some of your favorites? What do you have?
We have just an amazing array of information on the art, architecture, archaeology, culture of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the greater Southwest, particularly rich resources in the history. One of the things that I've been deeply intrigued by, I was never a maps person, but we have a wonderful collection of historical maps. We've got an 1883 map of the original town plat of New Albuquerque, where the railroad came in, as opposed to the Via de Albuquerque, and it's this tiny little grid.
That's cool.
It's really a great chance to see how the city has grown and changed.
That's cool. But and to kind of expand that library, you're having a speaker series.
We are. We actually have a couple of things going on. We have our monthly local history series. This year's is called People Create Cities. We're looking at the different ethnic groups that settled Albuquerque. So it's always the second Saturday of the month.
Great.
And in April, we're looking at the German community. We've also been able to host many author talks recently, which has been great. And we tend to focus on local authors, local topics. We're looking forward to the one we're having March 28th. The author's name is Olive Bala, and she's published a suspense novel.
I think we have a photo of Olive here that we can put on. Is it a brand new novel that she published?
It's a brand new novel. It's suspense, and for us, it's a nice departure because we tend to be on the more scholarly, historical side, and it's just fun to have this jump into fiction.
That's cool. That's very cool. Maybe she'll leave a copy of the book for you guys, sign it and leave it.
Hope so.
And it'll be special.
Right.
It will be.
Right. And the Special Collections Library, it's the cool adobe building on Central Edith,
right? It is. Yeah, it's actually the oldest public library in Albuquerque. There's been a library on that site since 1901.
Wow.
That building, the building that everybody's familiar with, the original part of it dates to 1925. Wow. And we were the only library in town until we added the Ernie Pyle Library in 1948.
Yeah, the little house. We were just talking about that before. Yeah, that's one of the coolest little spots.
It is.
And Ernie Pyle was such a cool writer from Albuquerque. He was war correspondent in World War II. Just a national hero in my mind.
National hero in that little house on Girard.
Right.
Yes.
It's cool. I love it. And all of his papers and his books are still there.
Actually, no, they're at Special
Collections.
Did they move
them?
Yes.
Oh, really?
And
you have them
we
now.
We have them.
So you're the ones.
They're special.
They are.
Really?
Yeah.
So what makes something special?
The focus of our collection is Albuquerque and New Mexico history. So what we're looking for are things that tell the story of that history. So we've got, fiction by local authors. We've got
all the Tony Hillerman books?
Yes.
Excellent.
We've got things that we were collecting because we were a library since 1901 that happen to pertain to the area and, by virtue of the passage of time have become historical. One of my favorite things has very little intrinsic value, but it's a 1931 textbook that would have been used to teach New Mexico history. And the auditorium where our series are held is called Bott's Auditorium. It's named in honor of a fellow who died as a result of action in World War II. And it's inscribed by him. It was his textbook as a kid.
Oh, that's pretty
And
amazing.
so that's that's one of the little quirky things that is just sort of ties the whole history together. I would say the things that you think are boring, sector plans, neighborhood plans for the city of Albuquerque really tell the story of the growth, the development, the stuff that didn't happen. And then we've also got what's called a vertical file, which is library speak for pretty much a scrapbook in a folder. So it's going to have the newspaper clippings, the what's referred to as ephemera, the pamphlets, the bookmarks, the little publications
going
that,
back.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we've got the speaker series. The author's going to be there on the 28th.
Author's going to be there on the 28th.
And she's going to be signing and selling copies of her new book?
She will be.
That'll be great. Maybe we'll get a couple of signed ones for the Morning Brew or something.
See what we can do.
That'd be excellent.
Yes.
We're going to be back in a couple of seconds. And I'm looking forward to this. I might get a massage on the air this morning. That could be fun. On the Morning Brew with Brent.